You've heard of it, and maybe even tried it, low heart rate training. But what is it really? Why is it so misunderstood? And more importantly, is it actually right for you? Today we're breaking down the truths, myths, and science of low heart rate running with a few unpopular opinions you might not expect. Let's get into it.
Let's start with the part that gets misunderstood immediately. Low heart rate training does not mean you're always training slow. It means you're spending time in a very specific aerobic zone to build something much more powerful, a deep, durable engine. But here's the thing, just like you wouldn't build a house on sand, you can't build speed without a proper base. And that's exactly what this kind of training is really about. Not running slow for the sake of slow, but laying down a platform your body can actually build on. And guess what? That platform becomes more important the older you get, especially after 50.
And let me just throw this out there before we get too far. People love to ask, but what if I just want to run fast? Good, so do we. But if you're always chasing speed without giving your aerobic system a chance to catch up, you're building a fire with no oxygen. Now we'll explain what that means in a second. But first, let's make this practical.
Picture your body like a 5-speed engine. Zone 1 and 2, that's your low heart rate aerobic cruising mode. Smooth, efficient, and built for distance. Now here's where it gets interesting. You don't live in first gear, you just start there. And when your engine is strong, you can shift into third, fourth, and fifth without grinding any gears. But if you skip the base building phase, it's like trying to race in 5th gear with a blown out transmission. And you know what happens then. Injury, burnout, and inconsistent performance.
And this isn't guesswork. Low heart rate training improves capillary density, mitochondrial function, and your stroke volume, all of which are key to running longer, recovering quicker, and staying injury-free. More blood flow, more energy output, less stress on the system. But the mistake runners make is thinking this is all they need. It's not, and we'll explain what to add and when. But first,
let's talk about numbers, because low heart rate means nothing if you're guessing. One of the biggest issues with this type of training is using outdated or generic formulas like 180 minus your age. That's not personalized, that's predictive. And training off the wrong zones, it's like cooking with the wrong recipe and expecting a gourmet meal. And here's another thing we can't ignore when it comes to heart rate training. If your data is unreliable, your training becomes unreliable. A lot of runners use wrist-based heart rate monitors, and while they're convenient, they're often inconsistent, especially during interval sessions or colder weather. If your watch is jumping 10 or 15 beats up or down, how do you know if you're actually in zone 2 or just reading bad data? That's exactly why we recommend a chest strap if you want the most accurate readings, because the more trustworthy your input, the more meaningful your output. Otherwise, you're making training decisions based on noise, not signals.
quick side note before we go deeper. If you're not sure what your actual training zones are, or if you've ever wondered, am I running too hard or too easy? We've got a free calculator that'll change the game. It helps you train smarter by taking the guesswork out of your pacing. You just enter your latest time, your 5K, 10K, half or full marathon, and it spits out your 5 zones with precise pace ranges. So you'll know exactly how fast or slow to run on every workout for maximum results. The link is in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on screen. All right, back at it. To you, Dev.
Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Low heart rate training as a delayed payoff. You're not going to feel faster after a week of easy running. In fact, you might feel slower, heavier, even frustrated. But just like strength training, it doesn't give you the visible muscles overnight. This process rewards consistency, not an instant gratification. And that's why so many people quit too soon.
And that ties into mindset. We get clients all the time who say, but I'm not feeling the difference. And we say, well, that's good, because the change isn't in how your legs feel, it's in how your engine responds. Low heart rates at the same pace, faster recovery, more control during your workouts. And that's how you know it's working, even before you start dropping time on your races.
But here's where it gets tricky. If all you do is run slow, you're going to get very good at running slow. So yes, the aerobic base matters, but so do strength sessions, so does speed work, so do the other 4 gears. We're not here to tell you to only run slow. We're here to tell you that running slow is one of the smartest things you can do when it's part of the complete plan.
So, is low heart rate training for everyone? Honestly, no. It takes patience, it takes trust, and it works best when it's part of a full training picture and not the whole picture. But when done right, it changes the game, especially for runners over 50 who want to stay healthy, consistent, and fast for the long haul. If you're wondering how you can run faster without running every day, don't miss the next video. How to get faster running only 3 days a week. We'll show you how you can get more out of less with the right structure and smarter training sessions. We'll see you there.